Hello, and thank you for joining. This is ASMR Tycoon, and today we're going to be building a emergency zombie evacuation shelter that will also double as a nice, quaint cabin. So, let's get started. Now we're not going to have it too big, so 20 by 15 should do. And we're going to put it somewhere nice and secluded. Why not by a lake? There we go. Now, the first step is to make a actual cabin in the woods. Nothing special, no signs or anything. You don't want your neighbors coming up and saying, hey you, I need some medical or food supplies. So you're going to want to kind of try to keep it low-key. Okay. Actually, this is a little bit too big for my taste. We don't have, I'm not going to be doing it that long, so we're going to put in a nice little neighbor's plot up here. And we'll use this. Now see, I don't like this one because I like building at least 2 blocks away from the edge. That wouldn't give me too big of a space once I flatten that out. So once again, let's see if we can't remove that one. We'll put a double wide here. Okay. Now this should do very nicely. Now we have the nice lake right here. And now if you were just standing right here, this is what you'd be able to see. So you pretty much just have access to the other areas through your left and your right side. However, we'll be having another cabin right around there. So let's get building. Okay, first what we're going to want to do is level the terrain in the areas that we're going to want to build at. Okay, notice that this area is not going to be routable. What you do is you level that section, put the trash can and other things that are unroutable on the already routed terrain, and there you go. Looks great. Okay. Now we have the land started. We're going to go ahead and paint the terrain. Actually, we're going to leave the terrain as it is. We're going to go ahead and start building the cabin. Now, one thing that I often like to do is I like to have a small porch that has a partial roof on top of it. Now, granted, I don't like to build load-bearing structures on top of the porch just because it's not really the type of architecture that you'd use on a cabin. So I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Again, I'm going to bring the walls down, and this is going to be at least 2 spaces from any side. So we're going to go ahead and make an outline right here. Now, in some spots, I could still be 2 paces away from the edge, like right here, except when I level this out, this is going to be a very steep slope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this back about right here. There we go. I'm actually going to make this a little bit shorter on this side. Perfect. Alright. Now actually what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to make this area a little bit bigger. And I'm going to sink this in. I'm going to build that nice little porch with an awning that we were talking about. Now, I'm going to be changing the colors of these so that they'll match. I'm just going to go ahead and build the actual structure now. And then we'll be concerned about coloring it the correct colors and get everything done correctly so it looks appealing. Now, do I want to go with the actual modern mountain cabin look, which would probably have something like this, and this actually matches, or do I want to go with the rustic horror type cabin look? I think I'll go with the rustic horror type cabin look, because if it looks like an abandoned cabin, most likely people are going to see it and assume that it's neither secure nor stocked with food or any other items that you would like. And in talking about building the structure, I find myself going ahead and making the custom paint, so let's go ahead and get this done. Alright, now an important thing right here is to figure out which direction the sun is going to be in, and shadows. So looking at these trees, you can tell that the sun, if this was north, the sun is going to be over here. Let's see. Both of these are going to be pretty bleached, so we can just remove this one and copy it. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because, say, if the sun was coming up on this side and going this direction, from this direction up and over, then one of these would be darker. This one would be darker because it would be exposed to less sun. This one would be lighter because it would be bleached from the sun. Now, let's go over the second story. I do like having a second story in the cabins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this. There we go. And I'm going to make a slanted roof on this side, so it's not going to be a full second story. Actually, we might have a very small second story. It's okay. Not only do we have the choice of using normal stairs and spiral staircases, but we also have an additional ladder and elevators. Oh darn. There we go. Alright. And now we're going to adjust the roof so that this is one single roof. And we're going to try to find a nice old roof type. There we go. Alright, that's the basis for the cabin. Now, let's go ahead and design the exterior, and then we can get started with working on the interior. Now for the siding, since I have chosen a rustic design, what I'm going to choose is I'm going to choose kind of a gritty outside. I want something that looks old and very weathered. Now, this clapboard is actually pretty attractive. However, I just don't like the flow of it. I'd rather something that is not only looks old and aged, but I want something that can also stand up against the weather. So I think I'm going to settle with this right here, which is just old and weathered timber, it looks like. Okay, there we go. Now, one reason that I like this is that there's alternate versions for the interior, so that the interior doesn't look, see, there we go. It's the exact same model, or the exact same texture, just a different color. So we can still make the entire inside believably rich wood. Okay, now we have the basic structure laid out. What I'm going to go to now is on the exterior wood. I'm going to put where the logs would be. And now, of course, this isn't completely accurate. Excuse me. This isn't completely accurate because if you look, the walls are very thin, and the wood would actually make these walls almost as thick as 1 foot. Each of these blocks right here, 4 tiles equals 2 foot, meaning that this is 1 foot right here. So, as you can see, these are pretty thin walls and not exactly accurate. Alright, there we go. Looking great. Now what we're going to add, just because it is an abandoned cabin, is I want some type of windows, but I want some windows that'll say abandoned. Well, it looks like I don't have much of a choice, so I'll just customize it to look appropriate. There we go. We'll make it a little bit darker. There we go. See how the insides look? Yeah, the insides I want to make a little bit more rougher wood, but I'm going to make it light. And then for the exterior part, we're just going to make it the same. Just make it a little bit lighter and add some very light tinges to it. There we go. Alright. Okay, so we're going to put one window here and here. A window here, here. We're not going to put any windows at the back or on the side. But what we are going to do, put a window here. Move this window over so that it matches and lines up with this one. Notice that the paint doesn't match. So we're going to go ahead and correct that on the second story where needed. Okay. There we go. Oh, almost missed a spot. Alright. Now let's see if we can't put a window up here. No, it looks like we are not going to be able to. Well, I guess no windows on the second story, except right there. Alright, now let's add a door. Now, we want a door that will fit right there. So it's only going to have to be a single space door. We need something nice, big, and heavy. Now it looks like we could make something like this into a nice, big, strong-looking door. There we go. That looks like a door I can work with. Alright. Now, let's see what a good texture for this is. There we go. There we go. And now we have a door. A big, strong door. Alright. Now next we're going to see what type of flooring that we're going to use for the inside. Again, you want something that's kind of rustic, but you don't want something that's too flashy. Well, not too flashy. You want something that's rustic, but comfortable. So these tiles should do. What I'll do is I'll just make them a little bit darker. There we go. Looking great. Now we're going to go to the second story and do the same. Alright. Now, we've got to remember that we're also going to have a basement. Now this basement's going to be, actually we should probably level the land first, now that we have everything where we need it to be. There we go. We can go ahead and place this mailbox right there. And we'll place the trash can right there. And, yeah, we just leave the mailbox right there. That looks nice. Alrighty. Now we're going to make a basement. I'm kind of curious, if I make a basement out here. Oh, okay. Well, that's the one, so I can make the basement too right there. Nope. Okay, well, let's go raise up right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the basement a little bit outside of the house on the back side, and exactly under the house on the front side, with a 1 unit perimeter on the front. And then I'm going to go ahead and level, well, not level, but soften the terrain. This area. Alright, now let's see if this works better. No, not really. Well, we'll just have to make do. Or, I guess we can compromise too. There we go. And now we have a basement, which we'll go ahead and make the walls concrete. Now in normal basements, what you want to do is you'll actually have a concrete block wall that uses waterproofing type materials. Like that. And on the inside we'll make it, we'll see if we can't make it a little bit lighter blocks. Looks a lot better. Now for the top side, first, we need a set of stairs to go upstairs. And we'll use these. Now we can place this pretty much anywhere, but where do we want to place it? Do we want to place it right? No, we can't place it right here, because that's where the door is. Let's see where else we could place it. We could place it back here, but it's going to be kind of in the middle of everything, so that the entrance is right there. But what we could do, yes, that will work. We'll put the stairs right here. Let's see which direction would be a good direction. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get some guardrails up. There we go. And we're going to make this nice little nook over here into a single bedroom. A small bedroom, mind you, but a nice and quaint one. All the amenities that you really need. Granted, this is for a zombie apocalypse, so I doubt you're going to be very concerned with any specifics of your bed. There we go. And we'll put a little end table over here. Why not? We'll put a rotary phone next to the bed, just in case he needs to call his neighbor at 4912, which of course would be the phone number, which is a joke on words and whatnot, because back then they didn't have the 7-digit phone numbers with area codes. They had shared party lines, so sometimes you would end up calling a neighbor or a friend, and instead of getting your friend, you would get their neighbor, or their downstairs neighbor, or someone else, just because an entire building would share a single phone. Okay. Now, do I want to make the bathroom upstairs or downstairs? I think I'll make it upstairs. Now, what type of doors do I want inside? I think I can use these doors as long as I make them a little bit more rustic looking. There we go. Now, we're going to make the toilets. We're going to make the toilets. We're going to make the bathroom. Alright, now a simple shower. And again, with this, we're going to make it not themed. Well, yes, themed, but primarily we're going to make it wooden. But this one, since it's a bathtub, we're going to have to make it nice. There we go. That looks nice. Now, of course, we're going to want a little toilet paper holder and some towels and a towel for washing your hand. There we go. And we'll put a blow dryer right there and some manly stuff and all that. Okay, well that should do. We got a basic bathroom right here. You know what I just realized? I can make it for 2 people. Watch this. Now, unfortunately, this will mean we cannot use the tub or the shower. I'm sorry, actually no, the bathtub. But it does mean that we'll be able to just use a shower instead. Well, actually, I don't know if we will be able to. It looks as if this doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Now it's wanting to cooperate. Alright. And again, we're going to put some towels right here. And that should be good. And now, we're going to move this right here. Okay. And let's see if we can't get a nice bed that doesn't look like a nice country bed that's comfortable. There we go. Now, we have an upstairs that has its own personal bathroom. It has enough room for 2 people to sleep comfortably. And now we just need to add some lights on the wall. There we go. Put a light right there. And we'll put a light right there. There we go. That looks beautiful. Now for downstairs. Now, first with the downstairs, we gotta figure out where exactly are we gonna put our emergency escape route. So, what I'm going to start by doing is making a small room right here, and then a secondary small room. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this first door, put it right there. The second door, I'm going to put it right there. Actually, with this door, I'm going to use one of these, and I'm going to paint it like wood so that it blends in much better. And it doesn't look like a door, but more of maybe a maintenance hatch, or possibly just a piece of wood that doesn't really match anything else. Here we go. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to repaint this room with a solid color. There we go. Now if you're wondering why I'm doing this, I'll show you in just a second. because now the room, it kind of blends in a little bit more. But now this room looks a little bit too unique. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it a specialized room. We're going to make it the freezer. Now, on the right here, we've got the main center pathway. That'll be used. The center pathway can be used to access the stairs and anything to the left and the right. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to turn this into a small kitchen. First we need a stove. So this one seems like an appropriate stove. Next, we need to choose our counters. I like these except for the glass. It doesn't look exactly like it should belong in a rustic cabin in the wood that's kind of run down. We'll use these, except we'll alter the color on them just a little bit. And we'll use wood on the top too. There we go. That looks great. Now, there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the sink. That should work. And we're going to put some cabinets up top. And these match just right. There we go. Excuse me. Now, right here, we're going to add a nice little half wall, just as a nice divider. Just make sure it's painted on this side. Yep. Alright. Now we're just going to put some lights in here, and we should be fine. If I can find some lights that are appropriate. Let's view all. There we go. A lodge light. I think that looks great. Oh, that reminds me. We need some lights outside. So what I'm going to do is, even though you can't see it, I'm going to put some floor right there. Why, you ask? So that there's a roof to mount my lights. Alright. Now so far, we've got the freezer, we've got the kitchen, we got the bedroom, and we have the single bathroom with a shower. Now we're going to go ahead and make the access to our downstairs. As you can see, well, no, there we go, and there we go. Now you have a secret access into this back section right here. You go down the ladder and into the basement. Now, most likely I'm going to divide this up into a part series. So this part is just going to cover the actual cabin itself. I realize the video is starting to run a little bit long, so for those of you who just want to see the cabin being built, or just wanted to see the video, or like to watch short videos, and for those of you that may have already fallen asleep, I figured I'll go ahead and cut it to just the cabin. So right now, we have all the major necessities. The only thing we have to really worry about now is what else is going to be in this cabin. Now, obviously we're going to have some type of sports. So, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we have any hobbies and skills that would fit inside here. I don't see many. I do know we'll probably have a bookcase in here. There we go. Put the bookcase right there. Now we're trying to make a living room. There we go. A nice charming feeling. Trying to look for a little bit of artwork that would be appropriate, but I don't really see any. I do see a rug. That's kind of attractive. There we go. We're going to have a nice, comfortable, ugly sofa. Now, of course, we're going to want a smoke alarm. Or maybe not. Maybe a lamp. We'll put a lamp over here. And we'll put a coffee table out in front of them so that they can have something to do stuff on. And now we'll put a little study back here. Okay, maybe I won't have that. I'll put the study back here with the basic. Actually, no. I know what I'm going to put on this. Just some random items. What I'm looking for, there we go. No, this isn't it. I'm looking for a large bulletin board. There we go. Alright, and now all we really need is a dining room table. We can make an easy one of these. Just plopping a single table down and some chairs. There we go. Don't even have to change texture. Let's find a good place for these. You know what I can do? I'm gonna use a smaller couch. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna angle this TV just a little. There we go, and actually I think that, well no, this won't give me enough room, but I'm just going to put this right there. Alright, and it seems like we're almost finished. Is there anything else that we really need? We'll put in some blueprints right here, so that essentially we can assume that it may be the Unabomber's cabin. And that's it. This is our cabin in the woods. You have a few sealed windows. The second story has a nice little bedroom and a single bath. Spiral staircase downstairs. You've got a nice little workbench and poster board table for whoever's doing whatever. You got a couch with an old school TV, tube TV, CRT. You got a 4-people table right here. You got a nice little set of books. You've got a full kitchen with a stove. You've got your own freezer room, which an isolated cabin in the woods with 2 very large freezers. Obviously, that's where at about the 32-minute mark, the 2 teenagers in the forward 4-teenager group discovers the body parts or weird things that looked, and the girl screams that probably is going to be the first one killed. But anyways, I watch too many horror movies and whatnot. So you go past here into the creepy freezer room through the hidden door, which if you're in a place like this, don't go through hidden doors. Come on, use some common sense. And magically repaint this real quick. And then that goes down with the ladder into our basement. Now, in the next episode, we're going to be turning this basement and a few other basements into a completely controlled and isolated emergency fallout shelter. I like to use zombies just because it's a popular theme. And personally, if you do prepare for zombies, even though that's more of a fun theme to prepare for, if you do actually prepare for it in terms of survival gear and firearms and whatnot, it's also going to be very helpful in case you need a bug-out kit, or if something bad goes down. So even though people jokingly play around about being prepared for zombies, saying zombies are not real, if something happens, martial law, or God forbid, there's some type of disaster again in America, then that would be a good time to use your so-called zombie kit for actual survival. But anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent. This is going to be the start of the zombie shelter, but for now, if you just wanted to see me build the nice cabin in the woods, then there it is. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed. This is ASMR Tycoon. I'm not going to bug you about clicking links or subscribing or any of that stuff. I'm doing this purely just because I enjoy doing it, and I like ASMR. So, if you want to see the zombie shelter, I'm sure that I'll put a link, or it'll be up on the sidebar somewhere to your left or right, I'm not sure. But click on that if you want to see it. If not, I hope you enjoyed ASMR Tycoon. Have a great day or night.